Alright, with the addition of Power Surge, also known as electricity, to Rust Console Edition, you're going to have to find new ways to protect your turrets, as they now have runtime and electricity that is required. So these are turret ports to help protect said turrets. Check it out. So these will open and close with the electricity of the turret being on or off. So if the turret's on, the door's open. If the turret's off, the door's shut. So these turret ports circuit, the basic rundown looks like this. The main power comes through on the red wire. When the switch is on, it goes into the orange wire into the branch. 10 units of power go off of the pink side of the branch into the turret itself, and the remainder of power goes up and over the top into the door controllers that you can see right here, thus opening and closing the door when the switch is on and off, along with the turret. Alright, so let's give the rundown on how to build this bad boy. It's actually not too bad. And then we can look at the power consumption, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so 14 units of power total for this. And we thought we'd do this particular setup on the Rust Console Edition. Typically we do these on PC because it's a bit faster, but you know, we'll just see how this one goes. Alright, so we already have a roller door out here, so let's go ahead and close that. We're going to stick some door controllers on the frame. We'll go ahead and get this paired with it. So on the frame here, I'm going to place that, but it's not good enough. We still need to make sure that it's paired, and it's not. There's no green light. So we go over to the lock itself. Where is my lock? You can use code locks as well for these. If you hit the code lock, like so, you can go ahead, and what you have to do is once it's placed on the door, you have to unlock it. Then go up here and hit the action button. For us, it's X here on the Xbox. And then go back to your door down here at the door lock, and then hit Y for us on Xbox to relock the door. And we'll do the same on this side. I kind of like to stick the bulge of the roller door on the outside. Makes things a bit easier. Go ahead and stick the door controller over on this side. And we'll do the same here. Get the old wire tool out, unlock, and then hit this. And always just make a habit of relocking this, because you see how like when it's green, it's actually buried inside of the frame. So you don't want to like get in the habit of not doing that. So and even still, I still make that mistake all the time. All right, so we'll need a switch, a branch, 2 door controllers. Is that? Yeah, I think that's all of it. I didn't think about that for a second. I think it's just one branch, yeah. All right, so place the switch down here. And yes, even if you already have a switch by your main battery, still have one for each turret port itself. You're going to want to have that kind of granular control. So let's go ahead and get the switch plugged into the main battery here. In this case, we have a medium battery on this back side over yonder. Placed like so. Can you hear the people raiding in the background? Or trying to raid their own base. I don't know exactly what's going on there, but it is funny. Let's go ahead and place the turret here. When you're placing the turret, I know we just took a break from this for a second. Make sure that, so you see how you have like 3 legs? Make sure that one leg that's pointing away from you is up in the wedge in the door. Push it up to the frame and then pull it back just a little bit. Kind of where the line is here for the cement or the stone triangle here. And that just is, it gives you just enough room so the doors can open and close, and maybe you can get behind here. And yes, in most cases, you would be doing something like this and then putting a window in, making that stone. But yeah, we're just doing this for illustration purposes too. So it's a bit easier to understand. All right, so now take your branch and place it here. And then we're going to make this next cable orange. And this cable is going to cross over the other one. I know that's annoying, but because I like to have the branch side, the priority, the left-hand side of the branch set to the turret, because that is the priority and you want the turret to be on. Because if you just fall shy of how much you need to open the doors and the turrets, the doors will fail first and then the turret. So that way you don't have an exposed turret that's off. What did we use for this one? Was it pink, hot pink, purplish? So on the left side of the branch, go up over. We're going to drop it down by the floor here. I do like to hide these cables as best as possible in a real case scenario. So each turret, don't forget, takes exactly 10, or I should say a minimum of 10. And then above that, if you want to use the extra stuff on the side of the turret, you're going to have to add more units of power. Okay, so right here it's important. So since the pink or purple wire there has been plugged into the turret, it's important to clear this and then make this 10. And then set with A, or holding A, for us on the Xbox, which I believe is, it would be south on the cluster. I cannot remember. I own a PlayStation. I can't remember what it is. And then let's go over here and let's set the yellow cable for the top of our door controllers here. So on the right side of the branch, which is the remainder of power, bring it around to the first door controller. And then through the top is a pass-through. I like to run it along the frame so people on the outside have a harder time figuring out what's what. And then we'll place that right there. Bring it back down. And it should be like so. Now, if we did everything correctly, fingers crossed, let's go ahead and leave the marching ants up for a second so you can see how all of this works. So remember, the branch needs to be set to 10. So the left-hand side, the blue cable, the purple cable goes out into the turret itself. The yellow cable goes over to the door controllers, passing through on the top to the other door controller, and the switch operates the whole thing. And when it's active, just these components, if you go back to the main battery, you'll see this is consuming 13 units of power, and with 1,000 Rust watt minutes, we can run this for roughly an hour and a half before everything shuts down. So that's another reason why having a switch is so important for any circuits, especially turrets. You need to make sure that you're, because they take 10 units of power, you want to make sure you're turning them off when you're not using them. I mean, think of your dad or your mom always telling you, hey, turn off the lights. Well, in this case, turn off the lights, because it's using your power, which is a resource, so don't ever forget that. So yes, this is definitely going to change the way all of these are played, all of these are placed, and turret spam can still happen, but you really need a lot of infrastructure to go with it. And I hope that these will give you the protection you need for your turrets, whether you're solo, duo, or even like a small group. So there you go, that's the turret port, baby.